What's happening, guys? Scott Bancroft here and welcome to another video. It's excellent to have you back. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you exactly how powerful Adobe Lightroom is using some of its basic features. For those that do have Adobe Lightroom, congratulations, you're part of the movement, you're on top of the wave. Lightroom offers a powerful workflow with incredible organization. For those that don't have Lightroom, head over to Adobe now, the link's below. There are plenty of custom plans for you for all your photography needs. We're going to be editing an all-time favorite of mine, a picture of Gardens by the Bay in Singapore that I took during my last trip. So sit back, put your headphones on, we're going to be punching out some powerful edits. Let's dive on in. Just loaded up Lightroom now with my photo of Gardens by the Bay in Singapore. This photo was taken in the central atrium area, the concreted area, looking up at the main tree with the Marina Bay Sands in the back. The light show had just finished and they keep the lights on, giving you ample time to find a position and take your photos. So there's no stress to try smash out your photos during the light show. Sit back, relax, enjoy that. There is plenty of time after the show to still capture the gardens. You might notice that the right-hand side of my screen looks different to yours. It's because I've put the lens corrections panel to the top of my workflow. That way, when I start, it's the first thing I edit. I'll remove chromatic aberration, as well as enable the lens correction profile. Lightroom's incredibly intuitive the way you start from the top, moving your way to the bottom, and by the time you're finished, your photo's done. Looking at the photo now, I can see that it is already too warm, and that's from me just shooting at a wrong white balance. Best thing about shooting in RAW is even if you take the wrong white balance, you can still fix it in post afterwards. I'm going to slide the temperature slider to the left to add blue tones to make the image look cooler. Continuing with the basic panel, I'm going to push the exposure up, add a little contrast, and bring the highlights down. Bringing the highlights down allows me to regain the detail in the brightest areas of the photo, such as the main lights in the tree, as well as some of the windows in the Marina Bay Sands. I'm going to even the photo out by pushing the shadows up and adding illuminance by using the white slider. I'm going to re-add the contrast that we did prior by bringing the blacks down, and you can already see by just the basic panel, we've gone from a dark, warm photo that looks unnatural to one that resembles the actual night that it was taken. The wild thing about shooting in Singapore, especially during the wet season, is that you can have incredible downpours with the sky completely clearing half an hour later. And that's what happened with this photo. I'm standing there straight after the light show, it's downpouring, the sky clears up, and you don't get a lot of that atmospheric haze or dust in the air. So I'm not going to need to use the dehaze slider for this photo. But what I will do is add some vibrance to bring out the colors. To really bring home the point of how basic Lightroom is and how you can get such incredible results from using its basic settings, I'm going to skip over the tone curve and split toning. And we're going to jump straight into the HSL selector and edit some individual colors. I want to differentiate the Marina Bay Sands hull with the sky, and I can see that it has a blue tone to it. Using the blue slider, I'm going to move it left towards an aqua and desaturate it slightly to really make the hull of the ship pop out from the sky. To make the tree branches as vibrant as they were and make them pop out against the sky, I'm going to increase the magenta saturation and add some luminance. Moving down to the details, I'm going to add some sharpening to the photo and mask out where I want it to be. Lightroom has an incredibly powerful sharpening function within its developing section. You can sharpen the photo and precisely mask where you want it to be applied. Instead of going to Photoshop and using a brush and using masking layers, Lightroom has a function where you can precisely mask exactly where the sharpening is. Lightroom automatically provides a default value of 40 for sharpening. Knowing my camera, I've brought it down a tad to 20. By holding down Option or Alt on a PC, and dragging the masking slider, you can see exactly where the sharpening is going to be applied in the white areas. I'll match the sharpening with some noise reduction to remove any unwanted grain caused by the sensor, or any that's been induced by adding sharpening. The transform tool is great to get those horizons straight and the buildings vertical. I'm not going to apply any transformation corrections to my photo, as I did shoot a little too close in. If I had to retake the photo, I'd shoot at a wider angle, around 16mm, which gives you a bit of area to crop down in to really straighten those buildings. I don't add too much vignetting to my landscapes, but if I am doing product photography or portraits, I will add it to draw the attention to the subject. And there we have it. We've used the basic features of Adobe Lightroom, starting at the top, making our way to the bottom, and you can just see how vastly different the photo is. As you're working along, to see the comparison, you can either press the / key to see a preview, or you can have a side-by-side comparison by pressing Y or Shift Y to have a split view image. Looking at the photo now, I'm happy the way it's looking. I do want to add a few more specific adjustments to the darker areas within the green of the tree and the foreground foliage. To do this, we're going to select the brush tool in the top right and increase or decrease the brush size using the square brackets. I'm going to increase the exposure and boost the shadows to bring out the detail within the foliage in the foreground and the main tree trunk in the center. To see exactly where the edit's being applied, you can hide or show the mask by pressing O on the keyboard. And the more you paint, the more the effect's going to be applied. The great thing about Lightroom is none of the edits are destructive. If you want to change now the exposure or the shadows within that selection, you go across to your basic panel and change the values you want. I'm going to add a touch of that exposure adjustment to the leaves at the top left of the corner just to bring out some of their detail and color. And there we have it. We've used the basic features of an incredibly powerful program to transform a photo that you would look on the back of your camera screen and be like, that's not the photo I was hoping for, into a photo that looks reasonably alright. And that's about it. I told you Lightroom was powerful. I also told you it was simple. So if you still haven't got it, head down to the link below. Get your hands on a copy of Adobe Lightroom. It's going to revolutionize your workflow. If you found this video interesting and you liked the photo, hit that like button. All the support helps. Subscribe if you're new to the channel or if you haven't done so already. Hit the bell if you want to be notified, and I'll see you guys in the next video.